Hey guys, so basically this is the gizmo that is in your um, canvas for today. If you click on this link here, it'll take you to this page here. You might have to sign in up here, but basically this gizmo is about weather, and what we're gonna do two gizmos that kind of compare weather and climate, and they're kind of tedious. I apologize for that, but they're kind of good activities for you to understand the difference between weather and climate, and then we're going to use that and kind of link that to aquatic environments. Obviously, the weather and climate is going to play a role in what types of aquatic environments will exist in a given area. So it's kind of good to get an understanding of these, and these kind of relate. Like climate kind of relates to season a little bit, which is what we talked about in the last lesson. So for this lesson, all you need to do is these two gizmos, and then we're going to have a quiz. And I'm going to post basically just this gizmo today, and then we'll do another one next time with a quiz. So this one will be weather, the next one will be climate, and then the quiz will be about those two things. And then I'm going to probably put a quick video in there that kind of links me telling you kind of how this links back to aquatic systems. So click on that link, it takes you to this gizmo. When we launch this gizmo, I'm going to run you through this first activity basically, just because it kind of, you're going to still need to do it, but I'm going to show it to you just so that it maybe will go a little bit quicker for you, because it's kind of annoying. But basically the first activity tells you to where to go. Activity A basically just tells you to go through this. It kind of gets used to using the gizmo. So what you're going to do is it wants you to click on New York. You're going to hit observe weather, and then there's this little notebook over here that's going to allow you to observe stuff. There's January and July here that it might have you toggle against, and then there's this pause simulation every 3 hours. We're going to go ahead and click on that. When we hit play here, it's going to pause after 3 hours, so we're collecting weather on this little weather instrument. And temperature is this guy, so we're at like 40, and then wind speed is going to be this guy. It's an anemometer, which is 4 miles per hour out of the northwest. Then precipitation is 0, there's nothing in the rain gauge. And then humidity is a hygrometer, whatever you call it. Anyway, it's looks like it's at 60. Or is that 58? No, it looks like it's at 60. So 60. Then we're going to hit play again. It's going to go forward. It'll take us to 6 a.m. Oh, actually, you know what? Nah, we'll see if it works. Then when I get to 6 a.m., again, same thing. Temperature is now 35. So apparently a front has come through, right? There's no rain in the gauge. Wind is 7 miles per hour out of the northwest. And then the humidity is at 50, so the humidity has dropped considerably, right? Then I'm going to hit play again. I'm going to let it go. And so here we're going to observe again. We got wind speed is 8 out of the northeast. Temperature is 34, maybe. Precipitation is 0. If you want to look at the rain gauge, go for it. And humidity is 50 still. Now, once I've done that for 3 times, now it's going to make it a little bit easier for me. It understands that I know how to look at these things, and so let's speed this thing up. So we hit enter data, and then that puts the data in for us. Then hit play again. Notice it's raining, and enter data, and it says 0.16 inches of rain, so that would have been a different measurement we could have looked at. Then we hit play again. It's snowing now, so notice that the temperature now should be below 32, right? We enter data, yep, it went below 32. And then we hit play, and we're going to enter data again. We hit play, and we enter data one more time. So that takes us through the whole day. Now I forgot to enter, before you even start this, if you enter that first set of data before you hit play, which would have been at 12 a.m. I believe. If you would have hit the 12 a.m. data in there, then you would have gotten to 6, and then it would have said you could enter data. It just wants you to enter data 3 times. And once you enter that data 3 times, then you can do that enter data button, which speeds things up. And the nice thing is now it tells you to go ahead and do that for July as well. You hit the reset button, you hit July, and when you do that, notice your data disappeared, but it's still there because this is page 2, right? So if I went back a page, there it is. If we look forward a page, here's this. So I'm going to go July 1, and notice I want to enter the data here. So it tells you to enter the data. So we've got wind speed is 4 miles per hour out of the south. Precipitation is 0. Humidity is 70-ish, right? And then temperature is 80 degrees-ish, right? Then we're going to hit play. Once we hit that one time, this time, it's now going to let us enter data, right? And then we don't have to write it all down every time. So play, enter data, play, enter data, play, enter data, play, enter data, just to get through the day. And then once you get through the day, oh look, it's raining again. Once we get through the day, we will have all of our data. And then it tells you to look at the graph. So hit reset, and then that allows us to look at the graph. So we can look at the graph of temperature. This is for July 1st. You could also page back and notice it shows you January 1st. It tells you to go ahead and hit compare graphs. Then you can hit page forward or page back. So it tells you to put January 1 here, and then July 1 here, and then it asks you some questions. So notice in July in New York, the temperature for a given day is pretty low, below 40s in January for New York, right? And then the temperature is quite a bit higher in July for New York, right? Then you can also look at wind speed. So notice there's a little bit more wind in January than July. Now, this is one day, so we can't make really broad generalizations about these things, but typically speaking, they're taking averages on these days. So usually in January, we might get a little bit of precipitation. In July, maybe a little bit less, right? Then humidity, it's looking like humidity is kind of swings a little bit more in the wintertime, and then maybe is a little bit more consistent in the summertime. And then it also, if you notice, the times that rain happened were at these peak times, so that's kind of important as well. So that's basically running through the first. Now when you're here, it's the next activity is going to have you reset all of that. So activity B, it basically says to reset, and on here it didn't have how to get back to the world map because you don't have it here. So if you unclick this compare graphs, that gives you this little green deal back, and now you can go back to the world map. You can select San Francisco on January 1, and when you do that, just to kind of show you, when you do that, it's actually going to open up in your journal. When we go to observe weather again, it's going to open up a new page 2 graph. I'm still on New York. San Francisco. Okay, so San Francisco, observe weather. Now notice it gives me page 3. So basically you could go through all of these different sites on the world map, and you could observe the weather on Jan 1 and July 1, and then you could look at all of the graphs of that data if you really wanted to. But this is basically going to take you through the difference of San Francisco versus Kansas City. So we want to see that. So go through that. And then activity C takes you through the difference in Yellowknife and some other place, I think Miami maybe, or somebody. So go through that as well, because that's kind of interesting as well. Then after you do those, I'm going to put in a climate one as well for you that's very similar to this one. And then those two together will give us kind of the information we need, and I'll make a video about what these mean and how it relates to aquatic science ecosystems, and then we should be good. There will be a quiz with that. So this is basically 2 days. You'll do a gizmo basically today, and then another gizmo and a video next time. I'll go ahead and throw in both gizmos now if you want to get them done, and then I'll post the explanation of them later. But they are kind of tedious and time consuming, so feel free to do one day and one the other if you feel like it took too much time. That's all I got. Look at them, work through them, and we'll break them down later.